Time now for St. Helens Town Talk Cafe with Steve Toski. The opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of KOHI Radio, staff, or advertisers. Now, here's Steve.
Hey everybody, it's a fantastic Friday. How's everybody doing? Kim, how are you on this wonderful Friday?
Oh, I'm so good. Christmas is coming. Holiday season.
How are you doing on your shopping?
I'm not close to being done, but I'm getting there. I feel like I have goals in mind. So next week, now that the kids are kind of out of school this week, I think I'm going to be able to have some time and finish some shopping next week. I'm kind of a last minute shopper.
You know, a couple glasses of wine, get on Amazon and just start firing away.
Best way to wrap presents.
Santa brings on the sleigh.
I know. Amazon's great for that too.
And so today's special, bread pudding. Oh my God, and it is delicious. Especially with the whipped cream. How's the bread pudding selling tonight, Kim?
It's good. We don't have very much left, so you gotta get it quick.
If you guys want some bread pudding, you better call in right away, 503-397-1600, and get us we will set aside some bread pudding orders. How are we doing with the DoorDash people? We getting a lot of action from DoorDash coming through and buying our food?
No, a few. Every once in a while.
A few? Okay, well, if you want some advantage on a bread pudding thing, get the DoorDash over here. And here, look who's coming in, Jason Moon. Jason Moon, a pal of mine, a man about town, Rotary president, the king of Rotary right now.
Hi, Jason.
Hi, Kim. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Jason. Thank you so much for coming into the cafe. Let's just get you to tuck into the soundproof room, because I'm going to grab you. I'm going to grab Jason because I want to bring him in the soundproof room and talk to him about some of the stuff he's doing around town here.
Good.
So, Jason...
Can I make a quick comment, Steve?
Yes, you can. You can start with a comment.
Yeah, as you guys are talking about last-minute shopping, I would love to plug some really great small businesses here in town that you could go to instead of Amazon. And even for those last-minute shoppers, last year I was running a little behind. I went to Sasset Home. They're on the highway.
Oh, I love that place.
Yeah, great shop. They're very eclectic. They have a ton of things. The Real Deal, I don't know if you guys have been over there to that shop.
I haven't been in there, but I've always wanted to go in. I need to do that.
It's very, very cool. So, yeah, you should check that out. And then even downtown, Split Ink, and if you're into vinyl, Endless Sound, there's some great last-minute options for shopping for you.
I know the Rose Street Boutique and the little cupcake place, they're going to be doing some fun stuff, I think, this weekend, too. So that's a good little place to go. I think they're having, like, a raffle and a drawing and all sorts of stuff there. So that'd be a good way to support them.
I think that's a great plug, Jason, and I appreciate you saying that, because some people... The default button now is Amazon. I mean,
it really is. You can find anything.
Yeah. And, here we are to talk to Jason about one of his many roles here in St. Helens. He's the ambassador. Jason, I would describe him, if I were to give him a title, I would say he's the ambassador of good in this town. Every encounter I've had with Jason, he's doing good. And then here, very first comments out of his mouth, as the director of the Columbia County Small Business Center is, don't forget about our local businesses.
Right.
So he's kind of like Santa for the local businesses. And I will say from personal experience, here's some great spots to shop in town. First of all, Sasset Home. They've got so many nice things there for the home, really nice gifts for you to give. And then, what's the Real Deal? I don't know if I've been there. What's the Real Deal we're talking about?
Yeah, the Real Deal is over, is it Wayne's Flooring there off of,
Yep.
Yeah, so it's tucked back into, that house there. They have a cool sort of garden patio section that's really flourishing, and and maybe not so much right now in the winter months, but they do have some stuff out there. But that house is just chock full of everything from plants to artisan pieces. They run a lot of consignment items through there, so a lot of local artists display their pieces there and sell their wares, and it's just.
I had a friend share that her mom made, I think it was jam to sell in the store. So yeah, local people have gone through there and sold some of their products.
My neighbor Dale is a great artist. Actually, he does these cool fish, owls. He's a very whimsical guy. He uses tons of color. I actually have some of his art hanging in my home, and I'm just about to purchase another piece of art from him to hang on our wall. And I know that he's selling his stuff there too. And I would say everything there is very reasonably priced. If you want to go buy something, it's not like going to break the bank for original local art from a great guy who's been living in St. Helens for a long time, and plus some of the other stuff.
Where is that, Steve?
He's selling his art at The Real Deal.
Okay, yeah.
And then Spilt Ink, yeah. Tony and Tammy have got their store going, and for those of you that, I think now is a good time for that special gift. You lay out that money and you say, you know what, I bought you a painting, and then you put that painting on the wall, and there it is. It's a generous gift of original art made by a local artist that you can give your loved one. But if you aren't going to go for original art, if that's past your budget or it doesn't strike you fancy, they have tons of neat stuff in there made from the original art. Bags, cards, and a lot of neat things that you can pick up.
Yeah. Well, I know we're on radio, and you can't necessarily see what's behind me, but I'm a vinyl collector. I have been nearly my whole life, and Endless Sound Records there, downtown St. Helens. I went in there yesterday and was able to buy some really cool vintage Christmas albums, and so I have this display behind me, and I use, album art is just so cool. I use it for art in my house. So if you can't afford a large original piece or something, you can spend $20-$30 and come home with some cool vinyl art.
And he's, I'm familiar with that store too, and they sell record players, which are digitally connected to like your Bluetooth type speakers. So if you say, I love the idea of vinyl just for fun, but very reasonably priced. They have record players that then connected Bluetooth. And so if you want to kind of, either for yourself or other people, just for fun, everything is there that you need to dive back into vinyl.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my apologies. I wasn't trying to sidetrack us with the getting ahead of the small business talk, but there's a lot of options out there other than Amazon, and I'm hoping that people choose local this year.
Actually, I feel appropriately corrected. I think we should be talking more. Amazon's on the tip of people's tongues, and part of what we do here on Town Talk Cafe is we talk about what's going on locally. And there is so much neat stuff in town. Like I bought a Carhartt jacket a little over a year ago at, was it Harrington's?
I love Harrington's.
They got a great selection there.
My daughter calls that the cat store because they have like cats that walk around in there.
In fact, I think I'm wearing a pair of suspenders that I got from there too.
Yeah, they have quite a selection of clothes too.
I think, for the Pacific, this is another cool gift that you can give your loved one that is sort of this, you're wrapping them in warmth, you're wrapping the substantial, Carhartt, fantastic manufacturer of great clothing, and buy the Carhartt, talk to them. I'm sure they'd say, hey, look, if it doesn't quite fit, we'll make a swap for you. then you have to bring it right there. You're not doing the whole Amazon, ship it back, this and that. You just go down to the store, have the person pick out what they want, just in case you don't quite get it right. It's a very safe and very generous gift, I might say. Carhartt jacket is a gift that says, I care for you, in my book.
I love this show is sponsored by Carhartt. Yeah,
I live in my Carhartt jacket. I'm sorry, I do. I love it.
I have a vest that's a Carhartt vest, and it's really warm. It holds in the heat.
And we've got Christina's Chest and a whole bunch of other stores. And I don't want to exclude anybody from this discussion. This is kind of a big segue. And so, Jason, I really appreciate you saying that. And so let's talk a little bit about you for the 5 people in town that maybe don't know you. How long you been hanging around St. Helens?
Oh, wow. Well, I lived in St. John's for a decade before moving to Columbia County. At the time, my partner grew up in Yankton, so she had lived out here most of her life, and when my mom passed away, she was living down in Tigard. We decided that we were going to get closer to family out here. So it's going on 9 years that I've been in Columbia County. As the story goes, I was reluctant to move out here.
Really?
But, yeah.
Okay.
I fought tooth and nail.
Stay in St. John's?
To stay in St. John's, yeah, I know,
okay.
as silly as that sounds. And then I made it as far as Scappoose, and I said that, this is the marker in the sand. This is as far as I'm going, right? Then I move out here and I meet my neighbors, and I fall in love with my neighbors. And I get involved in my daughter's school. I join the PTA, fall in love with this community, and it didn't take long for me to end up quitting my job in Portland and taking a year off with my kids and figuring out how I was going to be able to give back to this community. So I started working for Inroads Credit Union in a very community-facing position, and then the pandemic hit. And there was a real gap of resources that we saw at the credit union for small businesses and small business owners. So at that time, a collaboration started between myself and the Columbia Economic Team, who at the time was mostly focused on attracting and retaining larger businesses here to the county. They pivoted and started helping small business. We rolled out some collaborative programming through the Chamber of Commerce, specifically for small business, free programming, and some of that was based around how to become credit worthy, how to get a loan, a lot of these resources that small businesses didn't really have access to prior to this programming. So at that point, long story short, Columbia Economic Team reached out to the Oregon Small Business Development Center Network to see how we could get our own center out here in Columbia County. Prior to us having our own center, people, small business owners were told that they had to go to Portland, go down to an office at the Lloyd Center, and you really can't tell somebody in Clatskanie or Rainier or Vernonia that they need to report to the Lloyd Center for small business resources.
Yeah, that kind of throws a lot of people into PTSD, including me.
Yeah.
If I get too far from the river, I start shaking.
Yeah.
So this business, let me get this. So it's the Columbia County Small Business Development Center, and you are the director.
Correct.
Okay, and this thing, and then how is it funded? How is it formed? Give us a couple quick sentences on that.
Yeah, so there is a nationwide, I'm actually wearing the shirt, it's America's SBDC, and it reports up to the Small Business Administration, the SBA, which is a federal entity. So we receive federal funds from the SBA. Those funds are also matched by Business Oregon that funnels it through the Oregon network. And then my host institution has matching funds that they put into it. So Columbia Economic Team also helps co-fund this. And the way that it rolled out here in the county was that each city within the county became stakeholders in it as well. So each city gave a little bit of money, a kickoff sort of to start up this center last year. So that's how we're funded. We offer free, no cost, one-on-one business advising, and, I work through business plans, marketing plan strategies, loan packaging, access to capital, help people manage their teams, hire and fire, all those things that small business owners need that didn't have those resources before the center was set up last year.
And is this a cost? Is there a membership? Is there a cost?
There's no cost. As I mentioned, it's no cost, free one-on-one business advising. Some other centers do charge for some of the programming or classes. We've been able to roll out classes and partner with like WANA sponsored us here recently for our Munch and Learn series. So again, we were able to offer free programming across the county because we were able to partner with a sponsor for those classes. So
what qualifies as a small business that would be your business would be available in case people needed? What is the qualification?
Good question, Steve. The federal designation for a small business is under 500 employees. We don't have an employer in Columbia County outside of the school districts that employ more than 300. So really every business in Columbia County.
Everyone, Kim. Everyone can go in. All of us. That's
all
good.
Of us. But I would say the sweet spot really is that 1 to 20 employee company. Mm-hmm. And then we're able to help scale and work through some growth plans for those small companies to hopefully become bigger companies.
So here's a question for you. I run, other than the cafe in another life, I run a different business or help run it. It's about 28 people, and I can tell you from my experience, no managers are born. All of them are made. It takes training to be a manager. It takes patience, and sometimes I can tell you I've made a lot of mistakes as a manager. I'm way better manager than I used to be. And maybe Kim, you're managing the cafe here, and you've managed a couple of restaurants. What do you think about that? I mean, have you gained some wisdom and over the time, and you think you're a better manager now than you've been in the past?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. A lot of times, like, as a mom, I would go into a restaurant job and be like, I'm just going to wait tables, be part-time, and then I end up being there years later, manager. I'm like, how does this always happen? But, I've definitely, I've learned how to, manage people as well as the job. I think that's key because, you really have to take care of your employees these days. It's really important to know what they need, what they're feeling, what they're going through. There's a lot of different ways that you can be a good manager and support the people that work really hard for you.
A lot of times, as a manager myself, I've become a lot more patient about people's lifetime goals outside of work.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a lot of things that can pull you away from your job. But it's important. Family, family can pull you away from your job, and it'll happen.
A lot of things come up. Somebody's a good employee. Suddenly something goes on. And to me, saying to the employee, we got your back. We're going to cover for you. You take care of what you need to do. We'll be here when you come back.
Yeah.
And then when the people do come back, they appreciate it.
They feel supported.
Jason, so as far as the Small Business Development Center, it sounds like you have a lot of resources. But somebody's just saying, I'd like a little training on management. I'm having a hard time retaining employees. Making good selections on hires are huge. And then also retaining your good people is a skill. So do you think your small business development center is going to offer some help to people who may want some coaching in that regard?
Yeah, absolutely. We're already working with clients. We have, I think we're right around 170 clients currently in the portfolio for the center. And I would say already, more than a handful, I would say probably a dozen of those clients have come to us because they are, they're hitting barriers and really struggling to hire good people and retain people. And so through the free one-on-one business advising, we're able to work through some of those challenges. We're also in the early winter and spring, we're going to be rolling out some more programming, free programming in our Munch and Learn series around managing and hiring and retaining your team. So lots of resources available now and upcoming.
Yeah, I think, for me as an employer, avoiding making the bad hire is, as much as you need somebody, because obviously that's why you're hiring, that somebody just isn't quite the good fit. So you go ahead and, try it out and it doesn't work. And I think having parameters about that, and some people actually do end up working out. You just gotta, if you're gonna take chances on people, that you need to kind of figure out in advance, okay, what are the markers where I'm saying this person's succeeding? That's kind of what I've learned. Does it cost anything to be a member of this organization?
No, you can, we have a website. You can go to the website and there's a button on that site that says request free business advising. You just click on that button and you fill in some pretty basic information about yourself and your business or your business idea. And it's all free and confidential. So if you do have a business idea or you're an existing business here in the county and you're worried about information getting out or whatever, it's 100% confidential. So, no cost. You can go to OregonSBDC.org/COCO-SBDC.
How about, there's a lot of, political things that are coming up that affect our town, and people have concerns. Could if a lot of the businesses, local businesses and property owners are a member of your group, would there be some opportunity for you guys to send out information about political things coming that may affect them, and to actually just make them an awareness piece, an education in that regard?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a monthly newsletter, and we're pretty active on our social media pages too. So anytime there's stuff like that, especially from a federal and state and local level, we're able to populate those through those channels to allow not only our clients firsthand information about what's coming down, but other business owners that may not be clients.
So tell us a story. Now here I'm coming back at you. I hope you got one. Just kind of tell us, how the Small Business Development Center locally has helped somebody out. Just give us a quick example, and if you want to keep names, confidential, up to you. But
well, actually, last night we had what we considered a client/small business appreciation night at Crooked Creek. Crooked Creek opened up their doors to us, and we met capacity. We had over 80 people there last night, and there's actually a client that came to the center earlier this year, and he was looking at starting a handyman business here in Columbia County, and he didn't really know where to start. He asked all the right questions. He asked so many questions. I've never had a client come to me with literally just a legal pad, just sheet after sheet of questions, and he was taking notes, and so we helped navigate him through the process, not only starting his business, registering it with the state, getting local business licensing, revenue stream, everything. He and I advised against this. he was putting his savings, his life savings into this endeavor. And
good advice, Jason. Same thing for me. What do you think about that, Kim? Go all in or save? Oh, you're muted, Kim. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. No, I definitely don't think that's a great idea. I mean, just after seeing what's happened since COVID, like, I just can't imagine putting something that I am relying on for the rest of my life into right now. Like, it's crazy right now.
He put it all into a truck and tools and, all the things that he was going to need to get this business off the ground. And, some of the other soft things that we offer at the center that I think is unique to our center here in Columbia County is just the personal connections in the community. So I was able to connect him with some key people, some real estate brokers, some property managers, some commercial property advisors, and now he has too many contracts. He has too much work. Now we're having the conversation about hiring people because, here he poured everything he had into what he thought was just going to be a one-man band, but now, he's needing people. So, he grabbed the mic last night at Crooked Creek and told this story and it literally brought me to tears,
Who is it? Shamelessly plug the guy.
His name is, and I told this story last night. His name is John Smith. I thought this was a fake person. I thought he was a secret shopper. His name is Jonathan Smith, and his business is Columbia County Handyman. So you can see him on Facebook. He does great work. I'm actually going to have him out at my house here next week to hopefully help me with my front doors, my double doors here. Just a great guy and hard worker. He's a U.S. military veteran as well. So look him up.
Does he have a website?
I'm not sure if he has his site up and running yet, but I think he might have the URL. He definitely has a social media presence.
So speaking of small businesses, I see Amy, I want to say Butler, but maybe I'm not. Amy, can you come get your camera on? Oh, hello. How do we say your last name?
Butler, yeah.
Butler. So Amy Butler, speaking of small businesses, new small business, Amy Butler is the new social media manager for the Town Talk Cafe. And Amy is a student. Where are you going to school now, Amy?
I'm a junior at Scappoose High School.
So junior Scappoose High School. I happened to meet her. Actually, she is a friend of Charlie Leader, who was at our Rotary meeting on Wednesday. And Charlie, who does, goat. Charlie raises goats and does goat cheese. So Kim, this spring and summer when Charlie starts doing the goat cheese, we gotta get some goat cheese things on the menu.
I love goat cheese so much.
And fresh.
Did you buy it from him, Steve? I bought goat cheese from Charlie, and it was awesome.
Yes, I did.
I love Charlie. I love that Amy's on here too. It makes me so happy that we have these young entrepreneurs that live right here in our county. So
yeah.
What I'm impressed about Amy is that she actually reached out. I mean, we're talking about young men and women that are, Charlie, very well-spoken young man, say, hey, anybody can help me out with social media. Bam, he came up with Amy's name. Then Amy gets in contact with me. And so, this is small business. And so I guess I'm going to plug Amy and say, hey, check out the Columbia County Small Business Development Center. Talk to Jason. Get your skills going. As a guy who's trying to build a brand, a radio station, a social media presence, literally that is a market that is out there waiting for somebody to exploit in town here. You pick up some, now this is a paying position for Amy. It's a volunteer position, not a volunteer position. So Amy's in business now. And now I guess you know Amy, Jason?
I've actually heard her name from Charlie. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I've made. Do you run track or?
Yeah, I run cross country and track, and then I swim in the winter.
Yeah.
You swim in the winter?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. See, I'm a big swimmer. My wife and I swim in the Eisenschmidt pool all the time. Is that where you swim?
Yeah, that's where we have practices every day, and we had to meet there yesterday, actually.
Wow. Well, I cannot wait to get to know you more because I have a very long swimming story that I could start, but we would run out of time today.
It's another show.
So, okay. So anything else you want to mention? Where do we go? I mean, I got a small business in town. I think I'm going to join this organization. I want to help out. And just, Jason, anything that anybody's listening, how do we get a hold of you? What do we do with this?
Yeah, you can go to the website, which is OregonSBDC.org/COCO, so COCO, SBDC. That takes you directly to our version of that Oregon site. It gives you a listing of all of our free offerings, and it has that handy-dandy request for advising button there, and you can just click on that, and they'll put you in direct contact with us.
So if I want to Google Columbia County Small Business Development Center, I'm going to find you guys.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Well, Kim, anything else for Jason? You stick around, Jason. We're going to talk to Amy a bit. You want to hang out, or are you going to boog out of here?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say real quick for Amy, again, I know Charlie really well. I've talked with him about becoming a client. You should become a client of the center. We can talk about how to maybe start a very long-lasting career in digital media for you. But we could probably also use your help over at the SBDC. So we should talk.
There's needs out there. I'm telling you, there's needs out there, and I can tell you it's like a desert. You're hitting a spot that there's a need. Kimmy, anything more? Jason's gonna hang out. Huh?
I don't know. I like Jason hanging out, so whatever.
All right, so we're not gonna kick him out. Don't now look.
I like that he's here. He has lots of I feel like Jason's always full of insider info.
Yes.
Which is cool. I know, there's a couple people that you work with Jason, that I just feel like all you guys are just so knowledgeable in, finding resources for people. And you're always very responsive. So it's cool to see that our small community has people like Jason here to help businesses, be successful. 'Cause, it's not his money at stake. This is just his job to help other people as well. So, it's great to have Jason.
All right, you can stick around, Jason.
Yeah.
So one thing I was thinking about is this is something maybe you want to talk to Amy about. There's this, what is it, Angie's List, right? Maybe we should have a local. See, one of the biggest things I want a handyman, right? And then it's like, oh, but is this guy any good? I mean, or is he going to show up? I think that going on your website where local people are saying this person's done a good job, really may go a long way to boosting people's business. But that's just my 2 cents worth out of this thing. So let's go to Amy. So Amy, what the heck? Tell me something. It's like a job interview. What can you do? Social media? I need a Facebook update. I need an Instagram. I want to start doing YouTube, podcasts. Help me out. Are you the right person? I hope so, because I already hired you.
Yeah. I'm the presidency. I've run up around all this stuff, so I've been very familiar with it. Yeah, I think that I can definitely help you create these accounts and run them, and I had some experience recently where I kind of learning more of the statistics of times and when people are active most on social media, and I'm really interested in that stuff, and so I think it's gonna be really good.
I'm trying to penetrate the cafe to the high school, 20s and 30 something market. We're really going to have to hit that Instagram. And you think you can help me boost our stuff there, right?
I do.
All right. Well, because I'm going to give you the controls of all this stuff. So I guess for our audience out there, start looking for when we go live, which will be in a week or two, maybe 3, working on this with Amy. Then we're going to be rolling out with a good Facebook, my Facebook page will be spruced up, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, so that people can go find shows. We're going to start archiving the shows so that people can go on. I want to hear the interview with Jason Moon. I want to hear the interview with Amy Butler. I want to hear the news on this date. And, we're going to have people be able to click on and get what they need. As a small business advisor, Jason, what do you think about that as a strategy?
Yeah, I think that there's some really good ideas there. I think that it's for Amy in particular, there is a lot of opportunity. We need to. We probably don't have enough time in this show. This could be a whole nother segment, but I'm really passionate about, and it's why I'm in Rotary, around youth programs, and I feel like this community would really benefit from more youth entrepreneurship, retaining those kids that leave high school and then they don't come back here until their 30s, So if there's a way that we can connect with these generations now and hopefully retain them, and find more Charlie leaders and find more Amy's to show them that, they can go to college, they can still have that experience, but they can come back to Columbia County and start a business here because it's viable and there's the need. And so any way that we can do more outreach, whether that's just through more robust social media at the moment to attract the younger generation, I'm in full support.
Yeah, and if a young person starts a business in town, like a social media management business, like a whatever is going, maybe they say, hey, look, my paths are taking me out of the area for a little bit. They always can transition the business to another person coming in. And then we have a continuity of connecting people to the community, creating something that stays alive, and provide services to the community. And I think it brings our community together. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Amy? It's kind of heavy, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think definitely, when things are local, our towns, they love it, and, it brings so many people together, and it reaches out to people who, might not participate in a lot of other things, but, I think that having that sense of community, really sets in, and then, people see it, and they're impacted by it, definitely.
Kim, I feel like we're having another epiphany here. It's only show 8.
I know.
I feel like during this show, there's always this sort of crescendo of things coming together, and then it's like, wow, that was a great show. How did that happen?
Well, it always kind of opens the door to talk about other things as well, too, brings up other issues or other things that the community needs.
Yeah, I think this really just underscores our community, which is what this show is all about. And then really, Town Talk Cafe, this is show 8. I got 52 more plus to do, and then maybe hundreds more. And so this is a new business. This is a small business, and I'm going to reach out to Jason. I would say, how do we make this click? I've never run a radio show before. I'm brand new, and and I've certainly never run a restaurant before. Thank God I got Kim to help me out with that piece.
Oh yeah, don't do it. I'm just kidding.
But I'm feeling like it's all coming together all of a sudden. Okay, so maybe we should go, we got about 15 minutes. I think we should probably go into the news since I short-shifted the news last time. So, anything else, Amy, you want to add? You know what? Tell me did you tell anybody at the high school you were going to come on the radio show?
Yeah, I talked to some people in my math class today. I and they were all kind of interested in, like, on what it was, because they haven't really heard much about it. But I also, on my way back from my swim meet yesterday, I saw the billboard, which is really cool in St. Helens, so that looked really good.
Thank you. We're analog. We got the analog covered. And then you could actually tune in your dial and get the radio wave. So
I did that on my way home from school today.
See, Marty, you're getting more action off my billboard. So it's funny. The high school people said, who are you talking about? What are you talking about? And so I think that, thank you very much for mentioning your excitement about, doing what you're going to do for the show. I really am trying to turn this thing as big as I can get it. And so if it turns out to be huge, we're all here then. Show 8, we're talking about it. And I'm grateful that you talked to your peers about it, mentioned it, and they were excited for you. And these are things to talk about. And I think, Jason, we probably should go to the school. You should, and just talk about there are opportunities for young men and women, When my kids were 13, I said, look, I'm treating you as a man because you're 13. I know you're a minor, but, you might as well start thinking of yourself as a man. And same with my daughter, treating you as a woman. You're age 13. The earlier that you start thinking of yourself as the adult, the better in my book. What do you think about that, Jason?
I have mixed feelings there.
Well, it's their own way.
Well, I was a young entrepreneur. My first job was at 10 years old. I had a paper route, and the way it worked when I had it was you were an independent contractor. I bought the papers, I bought the rubber bands, I bought the bag, and then you would go collect the money from your subscribers, and then you would have to pay the newspaper a portion of that. And so it taught me a lot for sure, but I had to grow up pretty fast in my family, and so where you can find the balance, like with Amy, I'm excited that she's starting in on this venture and this new business, but I also, I want her to have fun. So, my advice is if you can find that balance, don't grow up too fast, but,
sounds like he's already telling her that she could just start taking days off, Kim. I mean, he's a manager.
Jason here for a reason.
Hey, Steve. Yeah, Steve. If we need to talk about how to manage and retain your team, work-life balance. Yes.
I told you no managers are born. I told you it's not good. I'm still learning, Jason. I'm gonna come. All right, so we're gonna head into the news. Anything else, Amy, before we kick off? Anything from you? Because we're gonna go.
I'm super excited for this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this all goes.
Me too, 100%. Jason, anything else before we kick into the news?
I don't have anything, Steve. Thank you.
All right. Well, you guys stick around because you can riff the news with us, but we're going to talk about some things I don't even know if you care about. So why don't you guys go back and eat some bread pudding? Bye.
I'll sign off. Thank you.
All right.
Good to see you guys.
All right.
Good to see you again.
Chaos is the order of the day, Kim. Chaos, thank you very much, Scott Jorgensen and Robots, Building Robots, for our bumper music into our news portion of our show.
Yeah, that was fun having him last week. That was perfect, so.
The guy's brilliant.
He's very smart.
Yes, he is. People were saying, why don't you just have him do the show? And then... I know. I bring on people that almost got fired, Kim.
You're lucky his name's not Steve.
I know. Anyway, yeah. So I really thank him for his artistry and actually allowing the station and I to use that. So I kind of wanted to start off where we left off last week, and that is the land for dirt scandal in St. Helens. For those of you that aren't completely up on this, so what occurred was that the city, during the process of the city trying to seek its approval for the police station in the location of the floodplain across the street from Johnny's, they needed to raise the station up several feet. And part of the thing was as well, how are we going to get the dirt? How are we going to do that? So before it had a permit and before it asked anybody's permission, city went forward and knocked down a whole bunch of trees, and then had this giant pile of dirt, which is still there. Have you seen the dirt?
Yep, I was actually wondering where that came from, and I was thinking, like, if it snows, like, some kids are going to have, like, a heyday over there. Those are good sledding hills.
You know, that's a silver lining to the cloud, that's for sure. I mean, you know, dirt.
Totally.
What we could call that dirt for land scandal pays off.
Yes.
They'll be there going, woo!
Yep, I can see it.
You know, we could turn it into an attraction. St. Helens sledding hill.
Yep.
Anyway, so this giant pile of dirt shows up, and everybody's scratching their head. What the heck is that about? And on the same city council agenda item, well, the same city council night as trying to approve this location of the city, the location of the police station in the floodplain.
Yeah.
They had this little item on there. Oh, and by the way, you know, we're just going to sell some of our property for 3,600 cubic yards of dirt. And it turns out the piece of property they're going to sell actually is quite a valuable piece of property, especially to the person who wants it, because it helps him fill out a development. And so, you know, we could say, you know, okay, the city's helping a local guy fill out a development. But the problem is this, is that it's against the law for the city to sell land for money or for dirt without first going through the public process. And that's the problem. So I've gone ahead and did some public records requests, and those things are going to come in. But I think what the people need to know is, and this, I don't know, does it sound like a good old boy kind of thing to you, Kim? Does it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, how about if we just trade you? We need a little dirt. The problem is this, is that
somebody knows somebody.
Somebody knows somebody. Maybe somebody's trying to gain favors, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not talking about a citizen, I'm talking about a political person, right?
You never know.
Well, how do I scratch some people's back in town, and then later they scratch my back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
But when it crosses the line into unlawful, that's when we're getting into concern, right?
Do you think that these issues stand out more for, like, smaller towns and smaller communities than larger towns? Like, do you think these kind of, like, issues seem to pop out more in a small town setting?
Absolutely. Because I think in bigger towns, they've gone through growing pains.
Yeah.
What happens along the way is that people get busted. And then what happens is that cities that evolve and do well, they have checks and balances where these kind of things don't happen.
Yeah.
And so I think that St. Helens is kind of going through some growing pains. We're kind of turning, you know, what I see from the city is, you know, we've got the small town, but our city government is trying to make this into a big town, big city.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's starting to grow, so we better get it under control because we have all these people moving here, which is great for our community to have these, like, young families moving here. You know, I know working at the Klondike, I see new people come in all the time. Oh, we just moved here from, you know, Portland, or we moved here from Hillsboro. It happens a lot. So I don't know. We just need to figure out how to,
I think that, when I'm going around town and I'm talking to people, what I hear from them a lot is, I came here because I like it here, and they talk about the small town feel.
Yeah.
Also talk about what they're leaving behind.
Yeah.
Mostly homelessness, crime, and so they came here for refuge.
Well, there's a sense of comfort here for a lot of people because it is such a small town. You can go to Walmart or Safeway and see people you know. I mean, you don't really have to be scared to go there at night. It's not, there's still, obviously there's sketchy people everywhere. But, like, this town is great for that. It's great to know that your kid can walk to school and be okay. It's not always like that in, other towns. So I can see why people want to move here.
So my concerns about this, and we'll talk more about these in the future, are that we don't really have any plan to preserve the small town feel of our town. That it's just going to keep growing. It's an anything goes place. We have no standards to try to prevent. What people say is, don't let this happen. And what I'm saying is, okay, the people that are planning our city, they don't live here. I mean, the planning commission is shut down. They're not asked for any opinions. This is really Portland coming our way. And so when you start seeing things like, I'm going to go ahead and trade our dirt, our land for dirt.
Yeah.
Now that's a red flag.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it's dirt. I went down to the city and I said, hey, look, I hear you guys are selling some riverfront property, and I hear you're trading for dirt. I got a couple shovelfuls in my truck. Where do I start? I'll just start stacking it up.
What'd they think about that?
They laughed. They thought it was hilarious. All the people thought that was hilarious because they know what I was talking about. It's like, how are we trading our land for dirt? How the heck does that happen?
Yeah, that's crazy.
People who are in the business of construction, they have to pay to haul their dirt off.
Right.
They're trying to get rid of it.
Right.
So the idea that somebody then would, you would say, we're going to trade this thing. First of all, the city's going broke, right?
Right.
We need money. We don't need dirt. Tons of dirt everywhere in St. Helens.
We got plenty of dirt.
There's dirt everywhere. And so we're not going to, how about money? Money. We got to pay people money.
You can import paper. Like, paper's good.
So how does anyone think that's okay?
I don't know. Maybe people just don't know. That's what this is all about, right?
I think they tried to sneak it by. And I can tell you, the reason why we got involved in this thing was this whole build a police station in a flood zone. Okay? And so I'm looking at that going, what the heck's going on here? Why are we building a police station in a flood zone? First of all, our law says totally unsafe, shouldn't be done to protect human life.
Right.
And then in that process, they see this, how'd this big pile of dirt show up? There's no approval yet. And the planning commission even said, Jeannie Carlson said, we haven't even held the hearing. You guys have already gone forward with the project.
What the heck?
Yeah, she's like, what are you saying to us? You've already torn the trees out.
Right.
And you've already put a big pile of dirt there. You haven't even asked us for the permit, which they denied because it was clearly illegal. I mean, that's the...
Right.
So I guess this is something we should stay on top of this land for dirt thing. It's not going away. There's a lot of... we're going to just keep combing through this until we get to the absolute rock bottom of the dirt. And then we're going to find out...
Rock bottom.
Yeah, we're going to find the rock bottom of the dirt.
Yeah.
And so, I think people need to start saying, we need more engagement. And I'm hoping people become engaged, start tuning into those city council meetings, start looking at the Town Talk Cafe website. And I guess we'll have to do the rest of the news later because, doggone, here they come. They want more bread pudding. Gonna have to see you soon, Kimmy. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to St. Helens Town Talk Cafe with Steve Toski. You can email your comments on the show to Steve in care of kohi.radio@gmail.com. And be sure to listen again next time for another St. Helens Town Talk Cafe radio show on KOHI.